Everyone, it seems that we have had a small technical glitch with regards to the previous Hangout. My sincere apologies for that. Hopefully people would be able to join. Now, first of all, let me thank you all for attending the webinar. We're going to talk today about the Caregiver program specifically for Bangladeshi customers. I'm excited to see so many people joining today, and we're going to focus on Caregiver, or formerly known Live-in Caregiver program, for the next half an hour. My name is Alex Davison, and I'm the managing partner of LP Group Canada. And before we commence our talk, let's just quickly go through the agenda. We are going to talk today, and then we'll briefly touch just a basic information about us as a legal company. Then we will speak briefly about the caregiver's role in Canadian society. I will touch the base of the caregiver program, which give the brief overview of how it works and what it is. I will then stop on the program requirements and what you would need in order to proceed with that. And if there are questions left after the webinar today, I would be mostly welcome to invite you to our office in Bangladesh or to ask me directly questions for here in Canada. So if no objections so far, let us briefly proceed with that. As I said, I'm going to give you a brief overview of who we are and what we do. The LP Group Canada is a legal company established in 1999 here in Toronto. We are focused and we are working only with immigration and visa cases, nothing else. We don't practice any law like criminal or family law. 100% the company is focused on visas and immigration. We are working with more than 98 countries in the world, and our major focus is on difficult cases, on appeals, on rejection management. All of our personnel is fully licensed. That starts from the notaries and legal staff up to the ICCRC specialists and lawyers. We have at least 10 years of immigration practice, each one of us, including me. So far, we have 2 offices, one located in Toronto, the other one in the nearest city of Markham. That's mostly done for the convenience of our local customers. So when you're here in Canada, we would be more than willing to see you one of our offices. So far, we have more than 8,400 of successful visa cases. From Europe, from Asia, including India and Bangladesh, and from other countries as well. And that's particularly it about the company. As I said before in the introduction, my name is Alex Davidson, and I'm the managing partner of the company. So my job today is to give you a brief overview of what is Caregiver program and how specifically we can address the needs of our clients from Asia and from Bangladesh in particular. Now, Caregiver program has been in place for more than 7 years right now, and I just want to touch the base slowly to talk about the role of caregiver in Canadian society, so you can get a grasp of why is it important for Canada, why specifically caregivers have their unique role in Canadian society, and what they do and what is their major aim, if you will, in helping our country to be established. There are 2 types of caregiver programs, or caregiver streams, if you will. One of them is focused mostly on taking care of elders. The other one is taking care of youth. And speaking about elders, it's a difficult issue for every developed country nowadays that we have the quickly aging population. We're living longer and longer. In general, we're living for more than 70 years, I believe right now is the standard age for Canada. Therefore, we have more and more elderly people who are contributing into our society, who are taking care of their families, and so far, lots and lots of families are looking forward to hire caregivers in the family, in a specific family, not as a company employer, but as a family who will take care of their relatives. The other stream, as I said, is taking care of youth. Well, it's pretty obvious in my personal opinion that we have younger generation in place. We have them getting back up to school. We have like young toddlers who would need to be taken care of. And as I said, it's pretty standard for the westernized society that we're looking for people who would join our families, who would take care of the toddlers and of the youth, who would provide specific care for them, not necessarily on the medical care. We're talking here about taking care of driving to school, of cooking sometimes. And by this, caregivers are turning into, I would say, a part of the family. It's especially essential for the families which are working. I can share even my personal story because I myself, when we have two kids right now, and we have had to hire caregivers when we had a specific need for our family. So just to wrap up on this topic, caregivers' role is to give a peace of mind to the families. They do have a specific role in economic development. They do have a specific role in providing care of the Canadian generation. And obviously, from the government point of view, these workers who are taking care of us should be allowed to stay in our country and afterwards turn into Canadian citizens. Next thing, which I was talking about, is the program requirements. Now, with the program, two separate requirements. As I said before, we have two streams, right? One for the youngers, one for the elderly, and we have two program requirements, therefore. One of the program requirements, when we're speaking about taking care of elders, is that you have to have specific education. Typically, that's the caregiver nurse education, or you have specific work experience, working and providing care to the elders. Out of the last 3 years, you have to have at least 1 year of a caregiver experience. It's very, very essential and very important. Now, getting back to the situation about providing care to the youngers, we're speaking about here about the education in early childhood. So it's early childhood educator. It could be a nurse as well. If we're talking about the, let's say, providing care for the specific needs of the toddler. Education of 1 year of caregiver experience out of the last 3 years is essential and mandatory. I know we have right now lots of viewers who are medical doctors who are looking to apply for this program. Specifically for you guys, I would like to stop here for a few seconds and one more time repeat that. You have to have at least 1 year of caregiver experience out of the last 3 years. It's essential and mandatory. This caregiver experience has to be full-time and it has to be confirmed by work references, obviously. Say if you're looking to apply and immigrate to Canada under this stream and you are looking to take care of the youngsters, in that case, your experience should be relevant, so you were taking care of the youngsters. And vice versa, if we're speaking about the providing care to the elderly, as the young gentleman on the picture, same story here. It should be the specific education and it should be the same experience, right? This experience has to be confirmed, it has to be legal, it has to be from your home country. Language ability, while caregivers are not required to have the wonderful language, it's absolutely fine if your IELTS is 4.5 to 5.0. We're speaking here about general IELTS, not the academic one. Why IELTS is required? Well, basically, these requirements arises from the fact that caregiver is taking care of the vulnerable people sometimes, of the elderly people, of the toddlers who are not able to ask for help necessarily if that help is needed. Therefore, the caregiver has to be able to, say, pick up a phone and dial 911 if something happens. That caregiver has to be able to provide the very basic and necessary needs of such arises. Now, what does that all mean for you all, guys? Just to repeat that in pretty common and easy terms. This program is pretty easy to apply for everyone looking to relocate to Canada. With whatever education you have, say you don't have the minimum requirement or you do not meet the minimum requirement of education, you're not a nurse or maybe you're a medical doctor, maybe you're a dentist. In that particular case, you could substitute that education with a relevant experience. Putting it in simple terms, IT manager with a caregiver experience, I mean the person with the IT education and with the caregiver experience could easily apply for the program and pass it. Relatively fast processing times, well, compared to other programs, specifically to the immigration program, this one is pretty easy. It's easy to apply. It gives you a chance to work in Canada, therefore you're starting your life in our country pretty fast. You already have the employer. Typically, you already have where to live, or at least your employer can assist you with the place where you would be able to live and where you would be able to start your life in Canada. You have an opportunity to take your family with you. It's not necessarily that it's guaranteed, but if you would like to apply, say with your wife, with the kids, or vice versa with the spouse and the kids, absolutely welcome to do so. Moreover, as I said before, since caregivers are contributing into our society and that this contribution is really, really valuable, our government is giving them the direct immigration pathway. In simple terms, that direct immigration pathway gives a chance to people to apply for immigration after working as a caregiver. Most importantly, caregivers are processed. It's promised that they would be processed in about 5-6 months after the permanent residency application. You are given a chance to apply for immigration much faster than other categories of people. It's also essential to remember, specifically because eventually lots and lots of people who are looking forward to work as caregivers do not want to stop there. They want to bring their families in and they want to settle in Canada permanently. Let me get back for a second to the previous slide just to quickly touch the base or very common questions which arise when we're talking about the caregiver program and specific requirements. I just want to give you a couple of examples who would not or would not be allowed to apply under the live-in caregiver program. It's very essential to understand it because we have those questions every single day, and in order to avoid them, I just want to touch the base slightly. Now, as I said, you have to have at least 1 year of caregiver experience or the relevant education. Typically, there are quite a few educational levels or diplomas or degrees which are standing nearby the one we're talking about right now. Say, teacher or school teacher sometimes is considered as an educator. People could mix it up with the early childhood educator. Again, guys, it's very important to understand that the school teacher, even if, say, you're a teacher and you're giving lectures or seminars for the first grades in school, still, it is not an applicable one. You have to have that caregiver experience. It has to be demonstrated very clearly. Say, for age, we usually see a picture of when a person is taking care of the older one. It could be a relative, it could be a distant relative, but that person pays you and you have pay stubs. So it's considered to be a job, it's a full-time job. You could provide evidence of that apart from, say, references. You're able to provide the actual pay stub to demonstrate that this work has been remunerated and you were not just provided food and shelter, you were paid in actual money and actual cash. We've already discussed what does it mean for you. So it's easy to apply program. It's relatively fast program. There is an opportunity to take a family with you. There is direct immigration pathway, which means that you would be able to apply for immigration and stay in our country if you would like to. And in terms of how to apply and what would be the next steps, obviously I'm I'm assuming that out of these 69 people listening to us right now, there will be those with the direct questions, and I'm mostly welcoming to for you to address those questions, to ask me about them. Please feel free to ask those questions to our representatives in Bangladesh. You got the address, it's Visa Center, it's located in Dhaka. You got the phone in there, so I would give you a few minutes to write it down if necessary. I believe you could write down, of course, my email address and just ask questions directly. Mostly welcome to do so. Just take your time to write it down if necessary. And apparently, in terms of the questions, please take into consideration that here in Canada we got the time difference. Therefore, I cannot give you a commitment that we would reply back or answer those questions within a couple of seconds after you send them to us, but absolutely welcome to address them. On this point, I would like to thank all who participated. Sorry for the technical glitch in the beginning. God knows it wasn't me, but Google freaked out, I guess, on the number of participants and decided just to send the other hangout for you. The next webinar, so what we decided to do for the Bangladesh specifically and for the Asia, we will be conducting such short webinars touching the base on every immigration program which exists in Canada, on every single program of interest. Sometimes you could submit questions as well, like whatever interest you might have or whatever topic you would like us to touch base into. Mostly welcome to do so. I would be absolutely willing to discuss it if it's worth an attention or there are quite a few people who are interested in one topic. So we will do that. So far, our next topic, I believe it's of the utmost importance. That's the immigration with the legal team and how to avoid fraud, because from my personal concern and understanding, there are lots and lots of fraudulent so-called immigration consultancies in Bangladesh, those who are looking forward just to grab your money and go. Therefore, since we're trying to change the situation and change the market, specifically delivering the programs which actually work for you as clients and actually works for you as an applicant, what I would like to do next, I would focus on immigration with the legal team and how you would be able to avoid fraud, how would you be able to check licenses of people who are working with you, how you would be able to double check the information which is delivered to you. It's specifically essential. And apart from that, again, thank you all for your participation and sorry again for the technical glitch. Guys, if you still have questions, I would return to that slide for a second. Here's our contact information, email addresses, the physical address of our office in Bangladesh. Absolutely welcome to come in to us. I would love to see you all guys in Bangladesh. Sooner or later, I would come in and see you all. Apart from that, I'm virtual right now, but mostly welcome. And thank you all again for the participation. It's really, really nice to hear so many people. Thank you.